Carolyn Nichols, certified holistic nutritionist here at the Energy Shack to give you truths that you need to know about high blood pressure. You know, it's one of the silent killers, the biggest of all times, and still is today. And so what can we do about high blood pressure? Well, here's a couple things to note, is that high blood pressure is generally two issues. Generally, I'm not saying there aren't others, but generally, the arteries are beginning to constrict, okay? They're getting more narrow, so because of that, the pressure that it takes for the blood to get up to the heart has to work harder, and so the pressure is higher. That's one issue. Another issue is that the blood is thick, and so because the blood is thick and not running free, the pressure that it's going to take to get that blood up, you can imagine if we have a thick running stream or if we have a very thin running stream or a very thick one, then you can imagine that the pressure then to take that thick blood up to the heart obviously takes more pressure. So it may seem pretty simple, let's just open up these arteries and let's just have thin blood. Well, how can you do that simplistically? First of all, I want to tell you, number one, that if you are struggling with any health issue, especially high blood pressure, I have 100% success rate at either reducing blood pressure completely and getting somebody off their meds, or reducing it drastically where you're close to getting off your meds. So please do reach out to me. Just go to our website, click on free consultation, fill in that intake form, and myself or one of our nutritionists will get in touch with you within 24 hours and let you know how you can fix this issue. But until then, I'm going to give you just some free tips that you can use in order to help reduce your blood pressure. So number one, let's talk about these artery walls. Why are they narrowing? Well, generally what happens in the human body is when we eat foods that are irritating, that are acidic in the blood, it begins to create abrasions on our artery wall. So those abrasions are a problem, and the body knows that. It's like there's an alert that goes off that there's an abrasion here, we need a Band-Aid. Where on earth would your blood system get a Band-Aid from? Let me tell you, it'll start pulling calcium from your bones and joints, and it will add a little calcium Band-Aid on that. It's called calcification. But that calcification is not a perfect fit for the artery wall, and it begins to build and build and build. Of course, you could have too much cholesterol in your system, but some people don't have high cholesterol, but yet they have narrowing arteries. Why? Because there's so much calcification. Why is there calcification? Because of what I mentioned, that we have all these abrasions on the artery walls. So two things happen. One, your arteries start to narrow, and now the blood pressure gets high, but also you just lost calcium. You know what loss of calcium from your bones and joints mean? Arthritis, joint pain, so much trouble. How can we fix that? First of all, we need to stop eating foods that create that acidity issue. Anytime chicken, fish, beef, pork, anytime any animal products are digested, do you know that 40% of it turns to waste in the human body? That's toxic waste in the blood system, and it aggravates the lining of your arteries. Stress is also a major factor. That cortisol is so irritating for the artery walls when it's released over and over again. So that could be emotional stress, that could be, you worrying about things or in a bad relationship or situation, but that could also be you not getting your 7 hours of sleep every night. If you are not getting 7 hours of sleep every night, your body is producing cortisol all day to keep you awake. So you want to be mindful of acidic foods, which is mostly your animal products. It could be also, you could be drinking a lot of pop. When you think of acidic foods, it's not your citrus, your oranges, your grapefruits that are quote unquote acid. To the body, they are alkaline. To the stomach, it may create irritation for you, but I'm talking about the blood system. So it's your animal products, and it's also your stress, the biggest ones of all. So now let's move on to, I don't have calcification happening, although most of us do anyways, but you just have a thickness of blood. What is the answer? Well, again, your stress and your animal products, because of all of the toxins that it releases, will make the blood thick. However, what you really want to focus on is how can we get this blood thinner. Let's pull out the animal products. Let's reduce our stress, not worry so much. Let's go to bed early. Get up early if you need to, but get your 7 to 9 hours sleep. But also we want to make sure that we are reducing the amount of refined sugar. Sugar really makes the blood thick, not just because sugar does that, but every time sugar is released, insulin is released. And when insulin is constantly released, it can make the blood really thick. So it is very important that we reduce our sugar intake. Wheat can also make the blood very thick. Dairy products do that as well. But the good news, what can I do to thin out the blood? You got it. Water. Let's drink water. Lots of water. That makes the blood nice and thin. You need to make sure you're drinking enough water. That's your weight divided by 2 divided by 8. Gives you how many 8-ounce glasses you need. Your weight divided by 2 divided by 8 gives you how many 8-ounce glasses you need. But if you could eat more things like salads, which are 90% water, you could eat your fresh fruits, which are 80 to 90% water, this also thins out the blood. So it's very important that water is your drink of choice, and also that you're having lots of raw fresh foods. And the fiber, get this, the fiber in your salads picks up all that bad cholesterol that could also be closing the artery walls, flushes it out the system, and amazingly enough, it opens up. And as you have more nutrients in your diet, those abrasions get fixed, amazing, in your artery walls naturally, because you're giving your body enough nutrients to do the repair. Calcium stops getting robbed. Calcification can actually go away. Our system was designed so fearfully and wonderful. It can heal itself if you are feeding it right. So you say, I've tried those things, my blood pressure still goes high sometimes. There is a natural remedy that you can take that will almost bring your blood pressure down immediately. I would like to share this with you right away, because if you can do this every evening after you've made all these other changes, you will notice your blood pressure will be practically normal. So say you had a high stress period, you've been doing good with your blood pressure, but you had a little bit of a rough day, you can take this natural remedy and you will watch your blood pressure go from high to normal so quickly, within an hour. Are you ready to hear it?